You're listening to When Everything Cracks, a mental health memoir set in old San Francisco. This was an emotional chapter for me. It was, moments when I actually really connected back to Earth, talked to some of my really good friends, and just had a lot of semantic problems, trouble expressing myself. I'm a crybaby, and I hope I don't cry while I'm trying to do this. I'll probably edit it out, but if I do cry, just remember that I'm a very emotional person. Chapter 12. Here you are. When I open my eyes, Brenda's there. "Hey, sleepy angel, I brought you some stuff." She produces a magic wand out of a big black bag. "Here's some magic." The rod is a clear plastic tube filled with blue and silver stars that float gently in a clear aquarian gel. My magic's no good here. "We've got to get him out of here." I know that voice. It's Sue. I can see just past Brenda. There's Sue, and Donny's behind her. "He looks awful." "I'm getting better." That's what I keep hearing. That's what Mom said when she was here. "Better? What's better?" Brenda wants to know. I have to admit that I don't feel any better. Yeah, what in the fuck is better? Sue reaches past Brenda and holds my hand. "Let's break him out of here. Let's just put him in the Rambler and go." These words are very exciting. I try to smile, but the medicine hurts my face too much. Donny looks at me and shakes his head. I can't believe this shit. His familiar East Coast twang makes me cry. I'm crying. Donny doesn't know why, and I don't either. Brenda reaches down and lifts my head to her bosom. She hugs me while I cry into her breasts, and when I look up at her, she's crying too. From behind a mental rose bush, I remember my plan. I savor it like salty French fries. I love my plan. I motion Brenda close to me with my finger. She leans close so I can whisper. "I have a plan. Shh, a way out." "What is it, honey?" she whispers too. "It's a plan. It goes outside. It goes back to Earth. Damn, it's fucking hard to make a sentence. Can you take me back there, to Earth?" "Of course, yes, we wouldn't leave without you." What a relief. Someone finally acknowledges that I'm not on Earth. I want to tell her more, but I'm afraid. "You'll take me back when I'm ready?" "Here's my card, sweetie. Just call me collect." I get a sick feeling in my stomach thinking about the telephone. She fishes into her purse and hands me a blue card that reads, "Brenda 2 Knight, Psychic Advisor." "I have to go to work now, honey. I'm late, but you just call me, or here." She takes back the card and scribbles on the back. "Here's my 800 number. I'm there all day long." She picks up her enormous black bag and kisses me. "Bye, Susie. Bye, Donny." She scoots out the doorway. I just told her about my plan. Why did I do that? I knew she wasn't an android, that's why. How did I know? Well, she was so human and warm. My tears would have short-circuited an android's heart. Donny sits down beside me on the bed. "Dude, you look awful. Who cut your hair?" I reach up to my head and there are no more long, lovely locks, just short, shitty sheaves of hair. "Is it bad?" "Dude, it's bad." Sue glares at Donny, turns to me and says, "No, you're beautiful. You're the most beautiful boy on this planet." She puts her fingers through what's left of my hair and pats my head. "Are you getting any good drugs?" Donny looks hopeful. "No, it's like that time, Judy." "You mean when Judy gave us Thorazine and we had to lie down in the park for 6 hours?" Donny said what I was thinking. He heard my thoughts. I nod. "Ugh, you gotta get off this shit." Right on cue, there's a clatter out in the hall. The cart full of orange juice comes menacingly into my room. Barbara is at the helm. Well, you sure do have a lot of visitors." She winks at me, which makes me feel sick inside. "Here you are." She extends a cup toward me with her cold robot hands. "Here you are. Here you are." I am not. "That's not me." I point to the cup. "Don't call me that." She doesn't follow me, but Sue does. She starts giggling. Barbara snaps at her. "What's so funny?" Sue just keeps giggling. I take the cup, making sure that it isn't me before I drink it. I drain the cup, tasting the coppery undertaste. I wrinkle my nose. Barbara takes the cup back from me and wheels out of the room, squeaking and clattering as she goes, like a robot with loose parts. That stuff is bad, Sue says. You don't need that. You need to be on a mountain somewhere praying. I must admit that sounds like a much better choice. I am not orange juice. I am a mountain. I'm a hermit on a mountain. If you take me there, I'll stay. I mean it. Not now. We need a plan or something. Sue said the magic word. A plan? I have one. Oh shit, I said that too loud. I've got a plan, though. How can I tell them my plan without being heard? Barbara is down the hall, and I'm safe. You get a reward here if you're good. Sue and Donny look puzzled. My plan is easy, but I have to say it right. I can't get my words to go in the proper order. They keep messing up. How am I going to tell them anything? I should just be quiet. Go on. Sue wants to know more. It's a special reward. Very special. You get the cigarettes. Donny reaches for his backpack. He's not making any sense. I gotta go. Wait, Sue hisses. She turns to me. What do cigarettes have to do with the mountain? It's a long stretch trying to explain this. I can't get it right. I'm useless. I'll try again. You get them. You get to get them. Where? Sue seems to be catching on. Out that door somewhere. I point to the big blue door out in the hall. There's a big sign 10 paces in front of the door that says, "No patients beyond this point." Donny doesn't seem interested in this plan, but Sue is very excited. Do you get to get them alone? I don't think so. Ask Jimmy Simple. He's been. Wow, I think that made a lot of sense. What the fuck is he talking about? Donny is pissed off. I guess I didn't make any sense at all. Shh, I'll tell you after. Sue got my psychic facts and Donny didn't. She giggles. Who's crazy here, me or you? Me, I'm sure of that. I sense some kind of commotion out in the hallway. Then I hear it. Then I see it. It's Jimmy Simple. He's very agitated. He runs into the room and stops short when he sees Sue and Donny. Duncan, can you tell me the country code for China? I need to call China. Spit flies out of the corners of his mouth. He's a maniac. Cool hair. He reaches out and touches Donny's hair. Thanks. He politely removes Jimmy's hand from his hair and puts it back at his side. Sue, what's the country code for China? How does he know her name? Does he know her? Is there a conspiracy against me? How do you know him? We met him when we got here. You were asleep. We've been waiting here for an hour. Sue, please tell me the country code for China. I've got to call China. I don't know. Try dialing 00 and asking her. Can you do it for me, please? Donny, will you do it? Donny rolls his eyes and snarls. Dude, you're harshing my mellow. Clear out. Jimmy misses the hostility in Donny's voice. He isn't devastated. If Donny had said that to me in that tone, I would have cried for a week. Jimmy is too strong. He just keeps going. He mutters to himself about China and walks out of the room. I wish I were like Jimmy. Donny fishes around in his backpack and produces something vital, my journal. He hands it to me. I was writing in this when I figured out where it's at. I left it on Earth. I thought you might want this. I'm so happy I start to cry. Donny looks crestfallen like he did the wrong thing. I have to let him know that he did right. I grab his hand. Thank you. I need to put my thoughts down on paper before I drift into orange juice land. I don't have a pen, but Donny does. He gives it to me. Donny has to go. Sue says, Wait, you can't go and not tell him. What? I want to know what. I wrote it in the journal, Sue. I hate goodbyes. But he doesn't leave. He comes over to my bed and sits down beside me. He says, Duncan, I have to leave. You'll come back, right? He shakes his head no. Not right away. I have to go back to New Jersey. Why? My lip is quivering. I don't have a job. They evicted us. I have to go home, Duncan. Tears are stinging my eyes. I can't quite see through them, but I can see that Donny is crying too. Take me with you. Please take me with you. Don't leave me here. Donny can't answer because he's crying. He puts on his leather jacket and gives me a big, sobbing hug. He dabs at his eyes, which are running with eyeliner. He looks like Alice Cooper. Read what I wrote. I'll call you. He leaves me with Sue. You really love him, don't you? Sue asks. I nod between sobs. Sue has to get to work. So she goes, leaving me face down in my pillow, soaking in salty snot. Dr. Sheldon Vial stares at me from across a brown desk. The edges of the desk are rubbed raw. The wood-themed laminate is torn, and the jaundiced pressboard shows through. He says very little. He asks me if I have any requests. Yes. Make me a doctor. I know where it's at, so you can just give me my degree now. He nods, then writes something in his book. Who told you where it's at? I figured it out by myself. I talked to the phone company, and they said I was right, so just give me the degree, and let's get out of here. I'm afraid I can't do that. Bastard. Filthy bastard. He won't let me have it because he's afraid I'll be better than him. Maybe only the fucking aliens get to be doctors. I solved the puzzle. Let me fucking play the real game now. I'll be damned if he gets one more word out of me. I fold my arms and stare off into space. He's heard enough. I know where it's at. That's enough. He's scribbling furiously. The less I say, the more he writes. I glance out the door and I can see Betsy dragging herself by her foot along the hall. I want to smoke. May I go? Is there anything else I can do for you? We're here to help you, Duncan. No. I push my chair back, shake his hand, and leave. I catch sight of Betsy just as she pulls into the entrance to the TV room. I run after her. Betsy, got any smokes? Sure, Duncan. She smiles at me through her Coke bottle lenses. I always have a smoke for a handsome young lad such as yourself. She pulls out a long brown Moore cigarette and hands it to me. She fishes in her side saddlebag and produces a yellow disposable lighter. After 2 tries, she gets it to stay, and I light my cigarette. Getting low. Cigarettes, I mean. Where do you get them from? You know, sweetie, they let the good ones go down and get them. She winks her incredibly magnified eye at me. She knows. How long till they let me go? You gotta stop talking nonsense. Nobody cares where it's at, doll. Just tell them about your meals and your meds, and don't let on that anything else is going on in that full head of yours. You're good. I can't even tell what's wrong with you. Why don't they let you go, Betsy? She puffs hard like a dragon. Smoke billows from her mouth. They don't let the old and feeble go. We're just allowed to spend. We can't go shopping. There is really no reason why she should be here. Maybe she's my guardian angel sent to protect me. Yes. She heard my thoughts. Did she say that, or did I think it? Betsy is an angel. She has wheels for wings. Her hair hasn't been washed in a long time. It's matted to her head. There are craters on her face, too. Angels come in disguise, like that story about the Buddha that appeared to a pilgrim as a dead dog. I kiss her on the cheek right where a bad blemish festers, and she pats my shoulder. You're a good soul. So she says. Jimmy runs up and down the hallway, banking his invisible skateboard and grinding his blank wheels on an imagined coping. He holds onto the see-through board and leaps over small pieces of furniture idling in the hallway. There is no one around to stop him. It's random moments like these that make life here seem almost bearable. My head still feels like they took out my brain and stuffed it with cotton. There's a terrible, raw, achy feeling up there. Almost everyone has gone upstairs to the volleyball game. I'm excused because I had the appointment with Dr. Vile. Betsy can't play, so they don't even try to make her. Jimmy can weasel his way out of anything. He stops skateboarding and comes over to where I'm sitting, watching him. He sits beside me and puts his arm around my shoulders, hugging me close. Quit it. We could get in trouble. He just looks into my eyes and says nothing. I feel uncomfortable being this close to him. He's weird. I'm super embarrassed that I don't give good hand jobs. His arm is holding me at an awkward angle, and it would be difficult to break out of this hold. I feel claustrophobic. His breath smells faintly of onions. His eyes are heavy-lidded from the medication. Duncan, will you come live with me? No. Yes, you will. He smiles. I don't have many options right now, so I will consider this one. I've got a cool place. Go on. I'm curious. I have this apartment in the Mission, and SSI pays for it. It's called Section 8. I get lonely there. Why don't you come to live with me there? How are we going to get to San Francisco from here? You don't still think we're on a space station, do you? Prove it. Prove that we're not. I look at him with a wild stare. He shrugs. James, the head nurse, rounds the bend and sees us in our strange embrace. You know the rules, Duncan. No touching. He's a retard. Can't he see that Jimmy's the one touching me? I hate this place. Jimmy doesn't let go of me. He just holds me defiantly. James keeps walking, never thinking for even 1 second that we might have defied him and held on. Fuck him. I hold Jimmy's hand, flouting all authority. I stick my tongue out at James's back as he rounds the next corner, oblivious. Jimmy continues, "It's kind of small, but there's a hot plate so I can cook for you, and I have a bunk bed. You can have the top bunk if you want it, and I have one of those square refrigerators. It needs cleaning. Maybe you can do that. And then I have a television. Oh yeah, you don't like television. My coffee maker broke. Well, I broke it. But I stole an electric tea kettle from West Side Lodge, so I drink instant. Jimmy, you don't need coffee. Will you come live with me, Duncan, please?" I have to think about it. Jimmy's face turns into a scowl. He pushes me away and goes back to his skateboarding sans board. Maybe I should have just said yes. Now he's mad at me. Or maybe his attention span ran out. I shuffle back to my room. It hurts to lift my feet up. Scuff, scuff, scuff. My little foam hospital booties slide nicely on these concrete floors. Scuff, scuff, scuff. I'm at my bed now. As I start to lie down, I notice that there's a book on my nightstand. It's my journal. What's inside? I open it up. It randomly opens to my birthday from this year. How weird. 2/27/87. The world can be the world sometimes. I need violent energy because I am. I see the sense I don't make. I see the skinhead I wish to lay. Oh yeah, there was a cute skinhead at my birthday party this year. I flip the pages and land on an entry from early June. 6/4/87. Name for a band. Liquid eyeliner with Brenda. 2 days later, 6/6/87. Art is born out of anarchy. Anarchy is born out of credit. Anarchy is best left in the hands of the very well-educated to lead this new fourth caste of homeless anarchists to triumph over the ununited true crazies who are too weak to overpower the forces that tear at their modern lives. Anarchists must become self-dependent to achieve harmony in a caste system. Whatever. Then my eye catches sight of some familiar handwriting. It's Donny. He wrote in my journal. 7/2/87. Duncan, it's time to redeem myself to those who love me for putting them through undeserving grief and heartache, and it's time for me to make them proud of me. I'm still young. I can't fuck up again. I've gotten all the bitterness and anger and resentment towards society out of my system, and I'm ready to start living, and I've realized that you have to pay for everything, karma. That for every decadent pleasure I've gotten out of life, I've had to pay for it because I had a tense karma lifestyle, and I can basically live the way I've been living, with a few obvious changes, and try to do something to promote my life instead of existing in a constant state of trying to escape. You've helped me, supported me. We've both helped each other and learned from each other, and in return, we've both received something priceless, an eternal friend. Somebody that will always help you as much as I can. I will miss you. I can't see very well, and the paper is warping in tear-soaked bumps.